Happy Thursday. It is just me today. Natasha is doing a silent retreat, which I applaud her very much as part of her birthday celebrations. For those of you who have never joined us before, my name's Allegra, and I'm one half of Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, or BYWD, as Natasha and I call our business. And we are on a mission to help moms avoid burnout and reclaim time and energy by learning to prioritize themselves and their goals. We have this weekly podcast that we put up every week, and usually there's some chit chat followed by a topic. Today's topic is my skincare, my morning skincare ritual, and also a little bit of discussion around why skincare is actually self care. And that might seem obvious because obviously it benefits you, but you might be surprised in some of the ways that skincare can be self care in a deeper way, which I'll talk about in just a second. But just so you know, if you are watching the video version of this, we do put up these chats every week as the Harness the Power of Planning podcast, which you can get wherever you listen to your podcast. And we've actually started dividing the podcast up into two parts so you can hear the whole thing, but we're also dividing it up into the part that's just us chatting about what's going on and then the part that is about the topic. So usually we start with the chit chat and then we go into the topic, but since it's just me and I don't know how to chit chat with myself, maybe I'll have to work on that skill. I'm just going to go straight into today's topic, which is my morning skincare ritual. And yes, my morning skincare and my evening skincare are very different. So, I guess I'm going to have to do a separate one where I do my evening skincare so that you can see just how different it is. And so, when I do my morning skincare, now, just so you know, I have not been into skincare my whole life. In fact, I turned 50 this year. My face is totally clean. In fact, I just washed my face. So I turned 50 this year, and I would say that I became really serious about skincare. Maybe even, well, I can tell you I didn't wear sunscreen until I was 40 because I have medium skin tone and I didn't think I needed sunscreen on a daily basis. Yes, I put it on when I would go out and go hiking and all of that, but I didn't realize that you get a lot of sun through windows, and I'm right now my desk is right in front of windows, but also you also get some damaging light from monitors and from, these screens that we're all in front of all of the time. So when I was 40, I started wearing sunscreen religiously. And I would say that I guess I got into skincare. I guess I've been off and on since I was about, well, when I opened my store Green and Greener, that's probably when I started getting into skincare because we carried skincare at the store. And so that would be what, 2006. So I guess I got into skincare when I was about 32-ish. However, I did not have a real ritual until I would say the last 4 or 5 years. And partially, it was because I discovered ways to make the whole thing fun for me. So, I am a little bit of a busybody, high energy person, and so it can be challenging for me to just slow down and do something like skincare, and I guess I don't need these because it's just me today. So, I just realized I'm not listening to anybody talk. By the way, feel free to comment. We do see the comments when you post them. So feel free to comment at any time. So, anyway, I got into skincare really when I started becoming serious about having a morning ritual. And that was when I became really regular with my skincare because once I had slotted it into a real place in my day, it became much easier to keep it going when I didn't have to think of it as a separate thing. And so that was great. And so I'm just going to go through the whole thing now from start to finish, my morning skincare ritual. Now, the first thing I do is I light a candle And I'm not a candle person, but I have found that by making this something that is a little bit special, it's it just makes it more enjoyable, but also it makes it so that I want to keep doing this because I kind of set the scene for myself. And so this is one way, and I love this candle. The company's called Hemlock Park, and they use, I want to say it's almost exclusively coconut oil. It doesn't say on the bottom, made in the USA. And this is their Scarlet Rose scent. I love rose scents. And the cool thing too is that they have one of those wooden wicks, which gives you the sense of crackling like a campfire. So I love the sound, I love the smell, and you'll see that I also love the ingredients, but I'll get to that at the very end. And so I'm just going to light my candle and I just kind of reflect on, usually I've done my skincare routine. I actually put it off so that I could do this podcast. So usually I do it earlier. So I think about, how do I want my day to go? And so let's see, and if I have anything challenging, I might think about how I want that specific activity to unfold. And maybe you can hear the crackling sound holding it up to the mic. So I'll just take a moment. I'll inhale the rose scent, which I love. And I'll just think about how I want my day to unfold, what I want to happen today, what I want to accomplish, the kind of interactions I want to have with the people I love, visualizing the end of the day and anything that I have going on at the end of the day. Just feeling a moment of gratitude that I am taking this time to take care of myself because I deserve it. And I know that by taking care of myself, it's going to make my whole day better. And I appreciate this moment right here. And this just really helps me to get grounded in the moment, to think about the now. This is really the only moment that exists. I'm one of those people who can really get caught up in all the things that are going on. And this really helps to quiet my mind. And then the second thing I do to set the scene is I will play some music. And this is not the music that I usually play because that music's copyrighted. I'm so glad I thought ahead because otherwise this audio would be totally in trouble. The algorithms would pick up. But I found some royalty-free music on Pixabay. So if you like this song, you can actually download it. I'll put it in the show notes. You can download it for free. And this is actually quite similar to the music that I like to listen to. So, if anyone who's listening, I see some people are watching right now. If you can tell me if you can hear the music, my mic is pretty good at only picking up the sound right in front of it. So, I'm not sure if it'll pick that up. So, let me know if you can hear it. And actually, let me listen through my earbuds. I want to make sure it's not too loud. Okay. I can hear it and I can hear me. So, hopefully, you can hear both. Okay, so hopefully that's nice. Let me know if it's too loud and I will turn it down. Okay. So those two things just really helped me just when I was growing up there was a commercial. Oh, hold on. I'm bringing my screen around. Oh well, you can't see it. There was a commercial for a bath salt called Calgon, and the commercial, the woman would get into the tub and she'd say, "Oh, Calgon, take me away." And that's really how I feel when I have my candle going and I have my music going. I just feel like everything is right with the world. It's really nice. Okay, so the first thing I do is I like to use this product line called True Botanicals. Maybe you've seen ads for it. I've been using it now for 2.5 years, coming up on 3 years. It'll be 3 years in the winter. So 2 3/4 years. However, for most of their products, so this is a powder product, but for all of their liquids, I actually decant them into these vintage perfume bottles because one, it just makes everything look really pretty having all these perfume bottles rather than the plain bottles. But the other thing too is that these bottles, most of them were gifted to me by my father, who's no longer with us. So for me, it's a nice way to think about my dad every day. And so that's why I like to do that. And so the first step is actually this. They call it an essence, and it helps with hydration. Sometimes I just will add it to my face when I just feel like I need a little extra hydration. There's hyaluronic acid in here, and it also helps to balance the microbiome of your skin. That's right, your skin has a microbiome. Who knew? But I've been using clean beauty products for decades. Even before I owned my store, I used clean body products, clean skincare products, because some skincare products are just too harsh for the skin. And so the enzyme, this is really nice in terms of just kind of neutralizing anything. Well, I use their skin wash too. So, but if you're using a skin wash that maybe is too astringent and you feel really dry after, this is a great thing to go in and just add some moisture. But I don't feel super dry because their skin wash is pretty gentle. Okay, so the next thing I do is I use this little device called the SolarWave. And I like this device, one, because it's small and because it actually has 4 different therapies. It has heat, it has microcurrent, which is kind of like a little zzz. It has the red light. And then there was a fourth one, but I can't remember what the fourth one is. So, if you want to go to their website, SolarWave, and it's just really nice and small. And I use it with this. You have to use some sort of conductor for the modalities to go down into your skin, and it has to be water based. It can't have any oil. So if you've ever used this with oil, you're not letting it do its job because the oil does not conduct the way the water does. So this is an aloe based product. It's by a company called Lemieux, and I'll put all of these links in if you want to buy these things. So it's Lemieux calming gel. And so I just put on a little layer, turn this on, and you'll see the red light. And then I just slowly go over. And, I used to be one of those people who, yes, I had a skincare ritual, but I rushed through it. It was like, how fast can I get these products on my face? And now that I have set the scene with the music and the candle, it naturally has slowed me down so that I make this whole process a lot more enjoyable for myself. So I just spend, a few seconds. The SolarWave is programmed to go for 3 minutes, and then it'll stop for a few seconds, and then it'll keep going again. And so I usually go maybe a little over 3 minutes. Not much, and not by purpose. I just kinda do it as long as the gel is still active. And by the way, if you want to go longer, you don't have to keep reapplying gel. What you can do is spritz some water on your face, and that will reactivate the gel that dried on your skin. So that's a little money-saving tip there, because I've seen some people complain about, the cost of the gel. It's like, well, you can just rehydrate it. And I tried that and it works. So if you want to go longer with the SolarWave modality, you can. Feel free to ask me any questions at any point. And also, if you're watching this recording, you can also ask questions and I will be happy to answer them. Now I'm just going to add a little bit up here so I can go over my eye. We do have a history of hooded eyes. My grandfather, at some point, his top eyelids were so droopy that he actually had to get plastic surgery because he couldn't he couldn't see. His eyelids were so heavy. And so try to, keep them nice and tight up there so that I don't ever want to get eye surgery if I don't have to. I mean, surgery is major. I don't want to avoid any surgery. And so just going over every area I just go from left to right. So starting with my neck and then my cheeks, my eye. Now I'm doing my forehead for anyone listening on the podcast. And going over the 11s to help loosen those up, keep the skin nice and regenerating. And I can tell you that my skin looks better now than it did in my late 30s, early 40s. I had a lot of sun damage, growing up in Los Angeles in an era that didn't understand the benefits of sunscreen. And then also having had a pregnancy, all the hormones can make your skin tone change. And so my skin was probably its worst right around 10 years ago when I was 40. And my skin looks better now. And also, there were a lot of things I didn't understand. Like, for instance, you might have heard about exfoliation. I do a lot of exfoliation. That would actually be part of my nighttime routine. I don't exfoliate in the morning. And so I do a lot of exfoliation because before I did not understand, and it makes so much sense. I don't know why I didn't understand this, but I once heard someone say, you can't moisturize dead skin. And I was going through a period where my skin just felt so dry. And then I heard that and I thought, maybe I'm not exfoliating enough. And I had just been using physical exfoliators like loofahs and that sort of thing. And so that's when I started getting into chemical exfoliators. And by chemicals, I mean acids, so naturally occurring acids, because the reality is just that our skin turnover really slows down as we get older. And so that's when I started experimenting with like lactic acid and glycolic acid. And there are lots of natural products that have these acids in them. And I couldn't believe how different my skin looked just from that. If you ever have seen, or if you've ever suffered from having, skin that you felt like was dull and dry, it's not your skin itself, it's the fact that you have layers of dead skin to remove. And of course, I am not a medical professional. I do not play one on TV. This is just from my personal experience. As soon as I started getting that dead skin off, my skin underneath was so much more vibrant. And all the products I was using, they were actually penetrating because I wasn't applying it to dead skin. Oh, see, there's the 3-minute mark. So it just went off and then I have to click it on again. And so as I said, I usually go for 3 minutes and that's about it. Okay. So there we are. Done with that. So my skin looked so much better just from doing the exfoliation. The other thing I learned was that many minor wrinkles are actually just dead skin. So, for instance, this wrinkle here used to be so deep. Like you could have seen it on camera from here. And now I have to lean forward to see it. And it was just dead skin. Because if you think about it, take a piece of paper and take a paper towel. And when you fold it, the crease stays. But if that paper towel is wet and you fold it, it does not stay. Same sort of thing. The dry skin had creased and it was staying creased, but because once I exfoliated away, the new skin underneath, which actually holds hydration, is able to relax. And so those were two aha moments, which is why my skin looks better now than it did 10 years ago. because I exfoliate a lot more. And so my skin is getting moisturized and I'm getting rid of those dead folded bits that don't need to be there. So those are the two things that I learned about the benefits of exfoliation that I did not understand before. Okay, now I am going to use the True Botanicals serum. It's called, actually, it's funny. I actually have an empty bottle here. One of the things too that I love about True Botanicals is, so I buy it, sometimes I buy it directly from True Botanicals, and sometimes I buy it from another company called Credo Beauty. And Credo Beauty is great because they actually have physical stores near me, and I can take all my empties to them. So that's why I have this empty here, to remind me to put it in my car so that next time I'm over that way, I can go turn it in. And the other thing that's really nice, and no, this is not a paid advertisement for True Botanicals, although it should be. I love how True Botanicals products smell. They remind me of Hawaii. So just tropical flowers, just a fresh, but not a strong scent, just that nice tropical flower scent. I really love it. It's so nice. So I put on that serum, and then I will take a few minutes, I'll let a few seconds for it to absorb, and then I'll use this torture device looking thing, which it's called Youth Lab. My mom got me this one, and before I had been using a quartz roller, but I've been doing face yoga for a couple of years now, and I really see the benefit of increasing blood circulation in my face, and the quartz roller was kind of too nice. I thought it was too gentle. I needed something rougher. And so these little things turn, and then they have, so for those who are listening to the podcast, I'm holding up like a Y-shaped thing. It basically kind of looks like a boomerang. And the two rods that go off to the side spin, and then they also have these minerals embedded in them, which are supposed to be good as well. I'll have to find the link to embed it in the show notes. So I just run this on my face, and you're gonna see, this feels so good on my neck. Helps to massage the fascia in my neck. Oh, that feels so good. And you'll see my face if you're watching the video. My face is going to turn a little bit red from using this because it's so aggressive. And I mostly go in the upwards direction, although there's some areas where I'll go up and down. But you can see how my face is starting to get a little bit red from the pressure and the rolling and the little bumps kind of beating it up. But increased blood circulation means that your skin the cells can heal themselves better, because I definitely subscribe to the belief that in a lot of ways our bodies can heal most things if the cells are clean and getting the nourishment they need. And so you see how red I am. See, it really brings the blood up. So I eat very clean. I also exercise daily. I sweat daily. That really helps to clean out your pores. You have to hydrate, you have to feed yourself, you have to get enough sleep. And if you do those things, I do believe that your skin cells can do a lot of healing. And so bringing up the blood circulation helps to get that healing going for your cells. Next, I will use a second serum, which this serum is from a company called The Ordinary. And I love this serum because I don't know if you can see, it has copper in it. And I really feel like the copper helps with the tightness of my skin. So it's a blue color because of the mineral. So I put a little copper and then I add in the True Botanicals, this powder that I had shown earlier. This is niacinamide and biotin. And so I add a little powder to the blue serum, mix it together, and you can use any water-based serum for niaminocide. But niaminocide is a healing powder, and it's better if it's in powder form. You can buy products that have niaminocide. You can buy liquid products that have niaminocide already mixed into it, but it will be more effective if you add it as a powder. So that's why I do this two-step process just to get maximum efficacy out of this. And niaminocide's also niacinamide. There is something called niaminocide. This is niacinamide. Niacinamide is also good for people who have scarring from acne, etc. Help for healing with that. So I just put that on, and it doesn't take long to penetrate. It's actually already pretty dry. But if I have a product that's kind of sitting for a little bit, I will do a little bit of, face yoga to help stimulate blood circulation, but also to break up the fascia in your face, which this also helped to do a little bit. So fascia is this connective tissue that runs throughout your body. It actually makes up as much as like 40 pounds of your body because it runs in thin and thick layers all throughout your body. And studies have shown that by doing facial yoga, you can actually help with things like headaches because of tension. So fascia gets really tight based on lack of hydration, or also like because of things like repetitive movements. Let's say you're squinting all the time at a screen or at a book or whatever. That'll create a lot of tension because of the fascia can contribute to that tension. So some people do face yoga actually to help loosen the fascia to help with things like headache. However, I've also noticed that, like for instance, I'll do some manipulation around my forehead. I'm going to do it when I add the oil, you'll see, but I definitely feel like that has further eliminated this wrinkle. And I guess part of this wrinkle is from me frowning. And so the fascia is getting stuck in that position because it just gets used to being in that posture. And so by relaxing it, it's actually relaxed that wrinkle some more. So, okay, next thing I'm going to do is add the True Botanicals oil. And I warm it up in my hand a little bit before I put it on my face, just to make it easier to spread. And then I just kind of put it all over. And then once I have an oil on my face, I can do a lot more face yoga because you need to be able to move over your skin. And so I can do things like this that help to break up the fascia. The 11s are a big one in terms of just repetitive movement that gets the fascia stuck in place. And so I'll just take my knuckle and rub it there to just release that tension. And it also helps to remind me like, hey, you don't need to squint so much. And I'll just run that knuckle. I'm just using this knuckle right here, my index finger knuckle. I'll just run that knuckle back and forth over my forehead, and it feels so good. And as I mentioned, I was going to do some chatting about why skincare is self-care, because really this is good just for your general health. Like I said, it'll diminish any sort of tension that you might be having in your head. But also, if you think about it, Uh, Anything that you're doing that's kind of helping you to relax is really beneficial in terms of your mental well-being, because first of all, they've shown that when you touch yourself, even in simple ways like this, like putting things on your face, it actually is releasing hormones that are the same hormones that are associated with like giving somebody a hug. And we all know how good hugs feel. So it's kind of like just saying to yourself, you know what? I love you. You deserve all this attention I'm giving you. Thank you for carrying me around through this life and doing all the things that we do together, body. Yeah, that's what doing skincare is doing. It's actually telling you, it's reminding you in actions, not just words, that you deserve this time, that you are deserve to be healthy, that you deserve wellness in your life. And then I will also do the same sort of stimulation in my hair. Uh, I read one thing that fascia even wraps around every single hair follicle. And I haven't researched that one. That was something I heard, but I can tell you that my stylist, or the guy who cuts my hair, I've been going to him for decades, and he's a multi-generational stylist. His father also does hair, and his father has the most amazing head of hair. So does his uncle, and so does he. And he told me that the only thing he's ever seen work is massage. And if you think about that, what I was saying earlier about ensuring that circulation is getting in there, and think about just how much tension we hold in our head, you could literally be strangling your hair follicles with tight fascia. Don't take my word for it. Go ahead and research it. But scalp massage is something that in the Asian cultures has been around forever. And they've got pretty good hair. So take from what you will. I do like to put a little bit of eye cream on. This is a product that I used to carry in my store, and I loved it so much that I've continued to use it over the years. And I like it because it has cucumber, and then any extra I'll just put in these kind of high activity areas of my face that are moving all the time. So this is the company's called Keys. It's their eye butter, and it has cucumber juice, which I love the smell of that. That's the main ingredient. Cucumber juice is the first ingredient, and then also has avocado and black seed oil, shea butter, and aloe vera juice. And sometimes when I'm traveling, I'll also take this product as extra moisture for my face, because sometimes it can be really dry where I live and the winds get going and my face is a little wind burned. This is amazing for that. So it'll be like a nice multi-purpose product. And then when I've done, all of those are all the active products, if you will. I will then do a final oil. And this oil is a blend that I made just because I had all of these face oils lying around and I kind of combined them. But the base, I know it has jojoba oil and maybe it has rosehip oil. I'll have to look and I'll put it in the show notes. But this is the final oil, because this is a good barrier oil. And the whole idea is that you want to make, your skin is your first line of defense against the outer world. And you want to make sure that your skin barrier is strong so that it can, do its job. And you see that everything I put on my face is also going onto my hands, because again, your hands interact with the world a lot. And in my 30s, I used to always suffer from cracked skin around my nails, and I no longer get that. So these products have also really helped with that, because that was always really painful, and a great way to introduce bacteria into your body because your hands are touching everything, right? And so you can probably see, like, I look very glowy at this point. My skin is very hydrated and nourished. And hydration is, you do it from the inside and you also do it from the outside. So, but my skin already looks super glowy at this point, which feels great. And then, I might do any other kind of like face yoga that I want to do, but it's all about kind of relaxing the fascia, getting the blood circulating. I'll do different things every day depending on, what I did the day before, so that eventually I get all the way around my face. I do my scalp every day and I do it in the morning and at night. Also, it just really feels good. Like, if you've given yourself a scalp massage like this, you'll see how good you feel after, just like how relaxing it is. Hey, why not do it multiple times a day? Sometimes I just do it because I'm like, I'm just feeling tense. And so I'll go in and relax everything. And it just really helps to make me feel better. And I'm sure on a physical level, it's good for my skin and scalp. Okay, so that is the skincare. The last little bit that I was going to do is put on my SPF because I always wear sunscreen, as I mentioned. Now, the bottle is the True Botanical sunscreen, but I actually mix two other sunscreens in here, and here's why. So I love the active ingredients in the True Botanical sunscreen. However, it is a little fair for me, so I will add there's a brand called Suntegrity. I will add their tinted sunscreen in just to give it a little bit of tint. And then there's another sunscreen called Kinship, and they just have like a really nice pearly look to their sunscreen. And I just kind of like that pearly finish. So I will mix the three together, but it's probably 50% True Botanicals and then maybe 30% Kinship, and then whatever's left over. Is it 20% for the Suntegrity just for the tint? And so just 2 pumps. See, it's like my color, and just pat it lightly all over my face and neck and hands, of course. And it just goes in really nice. And voila, my whole skincare routine. Thank you so much for joining us. It doesn't take me this long to do it because let's see, the camera's been rolling for 38 minutes now. It probably takes me about 20 minutes to do my skincare ritual, but because I was explaining it, it took a lot longer than it takes normally. So, and by the way, it didn't start this elaborate. It was a lot shorter before, and then I kind of added products as I became comfortable with them and felt like I needed something else. And then I've added things like the music and the candle, which I'm going to blow out now. Thank you for a wonderful time this morning. I know today is going to be great. And when I added the candle and the music, it became something I enjoyed. And so, guess what? Because you enjoy it, science shows you're more likely to establish that as a good habit when you enjoy something. And also, too, I do it now for it's its own reward. It's no longer, oh, I do it because I know it's good for me. Now it's become its own reward with the pretty bottles and the scents and the whole experience. So start small. You don't have to have all these products. Start with, a serum, a moisturizer, and a barrier oil, and go from there. And then you'll see what you like and what you don't like. I've cut things from my skincare routine, I've added things in. It's always in flux. But ultimately, it's all about having a great start to your morning, because when you have a solid morning, that sets the tone for the whole day. Thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to comment or ask questions. We will see them later on. And if you want to read more about the power of a morning ritual, we do have our book available in ebook and paperback called Rock Your Morning. It's all about the power of setting up a morning ritual so that it can set you up for success all day long. Thanks so much.